Hey campers, welcome to another edition of FBM210. I'll be your host, Loy Gross, for the fall semester. Yes, this is Fashion Industry Technologies. I'm your instructor. My name is Loy Gross. You can call me Loy. We're all grown-ups here. I want to let you know a little bit about myself. I am a huge computer nerd. I am a huge cosplay nerd. I am a huge theatrical costuming nerd. You'll notice I didn't say fashion nerd, and that's okay, because in this class I'm not here to teach you fashion, I'm here to teach you how to use technology to make it easier to use the fashion. That's what we'll be talking about. So, what are we going to cover in class? We're going to cover some digital photography. That's a nice little warm-up. We're going to do a little bit of Photoshop so you can do some supporting materials. We're going to talk a lot about a program called Clo3D. Now, Clo3D is a fashion-specific 3D CAD modeling system. Lets you make these virtual avatars with clothes and make 2D patterns out of those clothes that you design. So you're designing it right on the virtual avatar, and then you print the pattern and make the garment. It's very, very cool stuff. We're going to do a lot of that. We are going to talk a little bit about social media, because when you can make a fully formed avatar who's wearing those clothes and skateboarding down the street, you can create whole digital scenes before you've even picked up a pair of scissors. Well, that changes the whole manufacturing process. So we're going to talk about how that happens. And then we're going to talk a little bit about tech packs, so you guys can be able to make a production order that you would send to a manufacturer to have your design created and shipped to stores all around the world. So that's what we're going to cover in class. Now, in addition to those things, we're also going to do a semester-long research project. Now, don't panic, okay? Don't panic. Big friendly letters, don't panic. The semester-long research project can be anything you want it to be at the intersection of fashion and technologies. So, I've had students who did garment prototypes, I've had students who did AIs, I've had students who did podcasts, I've had students who did presentations and research papers, all over the map in terms of topics. Like, pick something that appeals to you at the intersection of fashion and technology, and at the end of the semester, you're going to have 5 minutes to talk about it. We're going to work together, figure out what that topic is, and your deliverable. The deliverable is the end result of your project, whether it's a prototype or an app or a video or a presentation or a research paper, whatever that deliverable is. We're going to work that out together, something that we both think is fair for a 15-week second-year course at a community college. Like, not going crazy here, just some good research for our level of understanding. You're going to work on it. We're going to check in every week. We've got a couple of major checkpoints throughout the semester to make sure you're good to go. So this course doesn't have exams. Everything's project-based. You're going to make projects, real-world stuff. We're going to make garments. And that is true of the semester-long project as well. We don't have a final exam. Instead of a final exam, this course has a symposium. At the symposium, you're going to get 5 minutes to get up there with a PowerPoint or a Canva or another presentation piece of software and share all about your research project. Most students, by the time we get to the end of the semester, no matter how timid they might be at the beginning, you've worked this out with your classmates. You've talked about this in class. You've come up and you've done your mock presentation in class. And most students are so excited about the research project that they go way over the 5 minutes. That's the harder part. Okay, stop talking now. Your time's up. But they talk about their project. It's wonderful to see. And we all learn from each other's projects. So instead of me picking one topic that I'm going to talk about, you're going to have as many topics as there are students in the class. And so you're going to learn a lot of really new, really cool things about the cutting edge of fashion and technology. Okay. So let me talk about how we structure the course. Well, there are two sections of the course. There's an in-person section and there's a Zoom section, and they are simultaneous. So we will be broadcasting live in Zoom while we are in class. If you are a Zoom registrant, you are welcome to come to the in-person section anytime you'd like. The only restriction is you must bring your own laptop. BYOL, bring your own laptop. If you are an in-person student, we have exactly the number of laptops as we have students. But if you're an in-person student, you must attend in person. If you're an in-person student and you'd like to attend by Zoom, you have to have a chat with me first. And the reason for that is because in classes past, Students who started in person and then switched to online did not do well. Students who started online and stayed online the whole semester did fine, but students who started in person and went to online modality didn't do the planning that it takes to be an online student. So I just want to have a chat with you to make sure you're prepared for that. Okay? And we'll talk about that. But you must have prior permission from me to attend by Zoom unless you're already registered in the Zoom section. Okay? Just to make that clear. All right. So how the class works. We don't have a textbook. By the time I got a textbook in your hands, it would already be out of date. So I have a bunch of content I put on the website in the Brightspace shell that I curate for you. You're going to consume that content every week and hopefully come to class on Tuesday ready to go. And that will be a regular thing that happens every single week. I like to reserve the majority of our class time for exploratory time. What are we going to do? We're going to talk about each other's research projects. We're going to bounce ideas off of each other and work through stumbling blocks. We're going to collectively problem solve. What's working, what's not working, different ideas, improve each other's work. And I'm there Tuesday and Thursday. So if you're trying something on the computer for the very first time, I will be there to answer your questions so you're not frustrated. There's nothing that's so frustrating as I show you how to do it in class and then you go home and it doesn't work, right? All right, so please read ahead of time so that we don't have to do a ton of lecture in class. We can come to class, we can use that time as exercise time, as work time, all right? That's how our class is going to run. Let me talk a little bit about tools and resources. GCC is going to provide you with the software licenses you need: Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, Firefly, Clo 3D. Okay, so we're going to give you those things. If you're in person, we've got the T202, 203 sewing room, all the sewing lab, large format printer. We've got 3 projectors that will project directly onto the table so that you can project your pattern onto the table, put your paper or your fabric underneath it, and then just trace those lines with a rolling cutter and you're good to go, right? It's pretty awesome stuff. If you're an at-home student, you need a high-performance computer. A Chromebook is not going to cut it. It's not going to run the software. Now, I don't have a textbook and I don't have a lab kit, so we don't have a lot of expenses, but you must have or have access to a computer that's going to run that 3D CAD modeling software. If you're worried about that, reach out to me. We'll talk about it. Okay? If you're at home, you have to be able to download and install the software, and you're going to want a sewing machine and a mannequin. Okay. Let's talk about expectations and assessments. Okay, so I don't have exams in the class, right? There's a couple of small vocabulary quizzes, but nothing major. We have projects. Real world project based authentic learning. I like to do things that are meaningful. I like you to do things that are meaningful. So we're not doing theory here. If you're scheduled to do a look for Encore or a look for the fashion show, we're working on that this semester. We're going to pull it together. We're going to be participating, collaborating. You're expected to comment and critique on other students' work. You're expected to be able to accept comment and critique on your own work and to show that you can turn around and improve your work as a result. That's how we learn, okay? Especially in the professional world. That's how we learn. And I want to highlight for you a very exciting opportunity. Last year, we put VR and AR experiences into the fashion show. This year, we're continuing that. There will be 5 magic mirrors where people can walk up to them and see themselves wearing your designs, and they can turn around and they can shift and they can twirl, and the designs will follow. We also will have a full VR experience that'll be a roped off section where people put on headsets and they'll be able to walk through a gallery of all of your designs, and they can manipulate those designs, sort of like pull at the sleeve and hold it up and see what it looks like. So very, very exciting stuff. Even if you're an at-home student, you can grab onto this. Your designs can be translated into the VR or AR experiences, and they'll show up at the fashion show. I mean, how cool is that, right? How cool is that? All you got to do is reach out and grab it. So I want you to be proactive. I want you to be engaged. Please stay on top of the class. Check in regularly, whether you're here, or if you're in Zoom. Check in a couple of times a week. Be there. Be enthusiastic. This is my favorite class. Honestly, I have a hard time feeling like this is even work because it's so much fun. We have so much fun creating our designs, and yeah, it's computers. It can get frustrated, frustrating. But for the most part, we work through it and we have a great time in this class. So I'm really looking forward to it. Bye.